Hello and welcome to everyone. Today we are going to discuss very shortly about the upcoming clash between Petr and Aljamain Sterling, which is going to be title fight that airs at UFC 256. And Petr is very powerful fighter, riding a score of 15-1, the former ACB champ, with victories over some really big names. In UFC, he defeated Teruto Ishihara, Jinsu Son, Douglas Silva de Andrade, John Dodson, Jimmy Rivera, Uriah Faber, Jose Aldo. He's a master of kicking, master of striking, great ground fighter. The guy literally has everything. The guy literally has everything. His stamina is out of this world. Fair with submissions, but better with submission defense, and a great wrestler, great on the ground, really powerful fighter. And now he squares off against Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling riding a score of 19-3, black belt in BJJ, NCAA Division II wrestler. That's Aljamain Sterling. One performance of the night against Corey Sandhagen, the former CFFC bantamweight champ, with 3 successful defenses, the former Ring of Combat bantamweight champ, riding a score of 5-0. UFC vet, he competes in UFC since 2014. He defeated Cody Gibson, Hugo Viana, Takea Mizugaki, Johnny Eduardo, Augusto Mendes, Renan Barao, Brad Jones, Cody Stamen via amazing Sulev stretch. It was a big surprise back then. Corey Sandhagen to Jimmy Rivera, Pedro Munoz. Let's put on a brief analysis. When it comes to Aljamain Sterling, well, that's gonna be fun to watch, because Aljamain Sterling is very good on the ground, and I assume he's maybe even slightly better on the ground, especially in ground wrestling and ground submission attempts. But looking back at Petr, he has never been submitted, and considering that he is a master of sports in boxing, mixed martial arts too, and blue belt in BJJ, I hope he got better belt. I think he has all the chances to defend Aljamain Sterling's submissions. On the other side, Petr looks to me as a better striker as well, as you know, because Petr finished the majority of his fights via stoppage. Head kick versus Uriah Faber, taekwondo head kick, Jose Aldo stoppage, Douglas Silva de Andrade stoppage, Teruto Ishihara stoppage, but Petr is a cardio machine. Petr always goes forward, pushes the pace, fights until the last dying breath. Against Jose Aldo, he was literally brawling for 5 rounds. His stamina is out of this world, and yeah. Oh, hi, are you, Mystic Sosa? I will be live in 1 minute 20 seconds just to finish this quick prediction. So yeah, da, video sam. So yeah, looking back, tužna vest. So yeah, looking back at this, Petr, according to me, is a way better fighter. So Aljamain Sterling is better on the ground, better in the submissions, and way better in some other aspects of the game. Cardio goes in the favor of Petr, boxing goes in the favor of Petr, just like kicking. Knees, I'm not sure. BJJ goes in the favor of Aljamain Sterling. Ground game goes in the favor of, when it comes to ground and pound, that's Aljamain Sterling. But when it comes to transitions, sweeps, such things, and hammer fists, elbows, that's Petr. So yeah, Andre, I agree. Jan all day. Yeah, either striking is unorthodox. That's true. His striking is very much unorthodox. But when I'm analyzing all the parameters, cardio, Petr. Ground and pound, I give advantage to Petr. Boxing, definitely Petr. Unorthodox strikes, that's gonna be Aljamain Sterling. Kicks, it's definitely Petr. You know what he did to Uriah Faber. Ground and pound, well, that's kind of critical parameter, but some aspects Petr is better, some aspects Aljamain Sterling. Sweeps and transitions, Petr. BJJ, Aljamain Sterling. And that's the question. How will Jan handle the kicks? Well, I assume he is going to work on that. Against Jose Aldo, he dealt those kicks well. Against Jose Aldo, he looked amazing. Plus, big cardio advantage to Petr. So in my advantage, this is going to be a victory for Petr. That's how I see it. I definitely see it as a victory for Petr. I don't say it's going to be a super dominant win, I don't say it's going to be a super dominant win, but I expect if it advances to later rounds, definitely Petr. Master of boxing, master of striking, I think he's in the best shape of his life. Plus, Petr is undefeated since the year 2016, and he's riding on an ultimately amazing score of 10 wins in a row. So, according to my predictions, it's gonna be victory for Petr. Tough match for him. Not underestimating Aljamain Sterling. Very tough match for him, but I expect victory for Petr. Is it gonna be finish or not? I don't know, but if it advances to later rounds, definitely Jan. So I say Petr here. And thank you for watching. Be sure to join in 1 minute and 20 seconds, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I will be live with training Ortega. I am rooting for Korean Zombie. You have my video about that. Need to go now. We'll be live in 2 p.m. Eastern time. I'm rooting for Korean Zombie. Have a great day, everyone.